What's up guys, Fragmentor here, and recently, well basically the last weekend, I took it upon myself to see how bad leveling 1 to 80 really is. And honestly, it wasn't that bad. It took me about 10 hours, honestly, probably could have done in 8, because I was taking detours, stuff like that. Obviously, I was skipping story, like I was skipping cinematic, stuff like that, because I've seen them all. But if you are doing 1 to 80 and you love story, obviously ignore this point, right? It is going to take you a bit longer if you're watching all the cinematics, right? But in terms of just gameplay, 8 hours or less, which is honestly substantially faster than I thought. And the best part is, while doing it, honestly, I forgot that I'm leveling. It was one of the smoothest rides of leveling that I've had in pretty much any MMORPG without having my hand held throughout, right? It's like I felt like I'm choosing what I want to do, and by doing this I got to 80. Okay, but let me show you what I was doing. And obviously this is you can change up a few things. You don't have to do it as strictly as me, and I'm even gonna give you some tips that I learned along the way that I was like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't have done this part, because that took me a lot longer than it should have for no good reason. I didn't do it. So let's get into it. So as you all know, or maybe you have seen my Zero to Legendary video series, in episode 1 I'm talking about you should follow the adventure guide. Man, I should have said follow the adventure guide in every single video, just because of how important it is for the 1 to 80, even if it's irrelevant to you and you're already level 80. The adventure guide just made this whole experience so much better. Now the adventure guide for the most part will be changing to an extent based on the race that you choose. Personally, I'm not gonna lie, I highly recommend going for humans. It is the most comfortable way, but it doesn't matter that much. Maybe you'll save yourself like 20 minutes if you choose humans. Like, it's not that big of a deal, but everything kind of like is very smooth. A lot of the stuff you need are going to be, well, after level 30 are going to be next to Lion's Arch. So you're already going to be in the area. You're going to already explore one of the areas, but that's like, I'm going extra here. Anyways, let's talk about the path. First thing you would need for this to make 1 to 80 substantially easier, you're gonna need Blish HUD. Okay, Blish HUD is a plugin to Guild Wars 2, and all you need from Blish HUD is, once you download it, I'm gonna show you, there's a website, you just download, install, it's not a big deal. Okay, you're not gonna get in trouble, people have been using this forever. I have to say this, but again, still use it your own, at your own risk, yada yada, but for the most part people have been using this since forever, and no one has ever gotten in trouble, as far as I'm aware, as far as any other content creators are aware. Anyways, so once you install Blish HUD, okay, you're gonna go to settings, model repo, and you're gonna type in pathing. Okay, you're gonna have a download here instead of current version. You download it, and then another icon would appear right here at the top. You go to pathing, and you're gonna want to get a new pack. Okay, so you're gonna download marker packs, and you're gonna look for Tekkit. Okay, Tekkit's all in one. There are a ton of packs here. A lot of them are fantastic. Tekkit is what I use 99% of the time. There are specific ones for specific things, but I find Tekkit to be the most kind of like general usage. Right, there's like ones for races, there's a bunch of them. Okay, like you can explore later. I use Tekkit for this. I'm sure there are others, map exploration, pathing, that are just as good. Anyways, once you have it, you go to all markers. Okay, you're gonna go into Tekkits. You're gonna find your map completion for Corteria, and you're gonna take the route for barefoot. Okay, you're gonna have to want to have points of interest, vistas, waypoints, also visible, hero, challenges, and hearts. Okay, all of this, very important for you to have on. Okay, And then for the rights, you do Barefoot Edition, not the Griffin Edition if you don't have the Griffin. If you have the Griffin, do the Griffin Edition, okay? But if you're a brand new player, 1 to 80, just do that, okay? So once you have it, you're gonna see these paths that you see right now. See here on the map, you see all these paths. This is my exploration, okay? So we are starting off with the humans. Okay, here we are in village of Charr, all right? And what you want to do first is go into your adventure guide and you want to check volume 1. Okay, you want to finish volume 1. The main thing you want to do is finish this one, right? So like the big one that requires multiple objectives. Each one of them, the top left one, will have multiple objectives, okay? Which basically means whenever you finish one of these, not one of the other ones, you will get a credit for this, right? So each one, you know, eventually just finish, let's say 14 out of the 16 that are available, and you're gonna get this one done. You don't have to do all 16 out of 16. 14 is more than enough, because when you do this one, you get a bigger EXP item compared to like all the other ones, okay? And you're gonna get this chest here that's gonna give you more rewards, basically. Okay, so your goal is to get this one done in each and every one of them up to volume 4. Volume 5, you never really need to do it. I don't know why volume 5 exists, because you get to 80 by the time you finish volume 4, so it doesn't really matter. Maybe, I guess, maybe it would matter if you were skipping the story, because each story chapter is like 3 levels, so maybe at that point. But anyways, let's get into it. So doing volume 1, okay, as a human, you're gonna start at Village of Charr. As you can see, here's the path that we're following. In this one, we will be doing pretty much everything. We do not need to do all the hearts, okay? I think you only needed 3 hearts and 3 events. Let me just make sure. So yeah, complete events, just 3 events. Complete hearts, just 3 hearts, right? Never mind, just 1 heart. Hearts after chapter 1, after volume 1, you can skip them, okay? Do not bother with hearts and events. Those are the ones I would practically skip, except for in volume 2, and I'll explain why once we get there. Anyways, so just follow this path. Your main EXP, aside from the adventure guide, is exploration. Exploration gives so much EXP, okay? So follow this, do the quick heart here, get the worms, whatever, and then just keep exploring, get the vistas, explore, vistas, explore, yada yada. If you see an event, I mean, like, you might as well do it if you want to, but it's not a big deal. You can skip pretty much everything if you want, right? Explore, get the waypoints, yada yada, okay? And just make sure that you're following the adventure guide, that you are not skipping anything, okay? The first time I did it, I got basically to here, and then I just went to Kessex Hills, okay? So I just ran in this, I don't know what is this, a reverse C shape into another reverse C shape, okay? Got into here, and I was done with Adventure 1, okay? This does not take very long, and I also was doing the hearts, so knowing that I can skip the hearts now, man, leveling is gonna be so much easier and so much faster. Okay, once you get to here, you're done. Okay, you're moving on. You're gonna do your story, and then you're moving on to the second part, which is Kessex Hills. Okay, whenever story is available, do it, unless like you're in the middle of something. Okay, just do the stories whenever you can. Okay, so looking at volume 2, okay, there is something here, so you need to defeat a world boss. And you need to defeat the lowest level world boss. So Shadow Behemoth, Sylvari Shaman, Fire Elemental, and the Worm in Keldon Forest. Okay, those are basically the 4, right? I don't think I missed one. Yeah, those are the 4 world bosses that would fit this criteria. Okay, perfect for us, because when we're in Kessex Hills, the Shadow Behemoth spawns right here, right? You take this waypoint, you get. And Shadow Behemoth is in this area. I think it's like somewhere here or here, one or the others, right? Anyways, so you go here, you go north, you'll find it. Okay, so that's Shadow Behemoth. Another way to know if Shadow Behemoth is up, you can click on Blish HUD, go into Events and Metas, right? And then go into World Bosses, and then find the Shadow Behemoth. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Saw it, there it is. And if you hover over the time, it would show you when it would spawn. I believe this adjusts to your current time, not to the server time. Okay, so for me, it would be like in another hour and 15 minutes, I'll have a Shadow Behemoth. Okay, it even says starts in 1 hour 36 minutes. Anyways, so Kessex Hill, if you're human, you are going to do a full map completion here, because for Adventure 2, okay, you have a map completion. Let me see if I can find it. Sorry, that was actually in volume 3, but we're going to use this map for the map completion. So what you want to do is, if you're still on volume 2 and didn't unlock volume 3, you're gonna hold off on fully completing this map. You're gonna, you know, maybe leave like a waypoint, leave like a heart, leave a hero point, leave a point of interest. Just don't do one of them, leave a vista. Just don't do one of them. And then once you unlock volume 3, go and finish that. Okay, other than that, try to get a full exploration here. Again, you don't, here you're gonna need to do all the hearts. You do not need to do the events, not important, and all the hero points. Okay, so once you do all of this, you're also gonna do the story while you're at it, and once you're done with that, okay, you're gonna go to this waypoint, run to Gundaren Fields, all the way up here to Blood Hill, so like just go all the way north, and then you're gonna go into Hinterlands. Okay, once you're in Hinterlands, okay, you're gonna follow this path. So this path is kind of like in the middle, because the path actually starts over here. Not a big deal. You're just gonna, you know, start here, and then eventually just go in reverse. Ideally, just, you know, go with the arrows at first, and then, you know, go back and finish off whatever you have left. The goal here is to get to Modir Ulgoth. Okay, so you wanna do as much as you can, because this is going to be the second world boss that you would need. Okay, when you go into Volume 3, you have defeating World Boss 2. One of them is in Haratha Hinterlands, and that the Modir Shaman, or whatever the name, Modir Ulgoth. Okay, that would be your second world boss. You do not need to do map completion, just finish your adventure guide here, 3, as much as you can. You can skip the hearts, you can skip events, and you can still get a full Adventure 3 done, and you'll be good. Honestly though, I'll tell you right now, some hearts are fun to do, and they're pretty fast. So, you know, up to your own discretion, but if you just don't care about any of it, yeah, you can just finish exploration, whatever. Do the story, and then you are getting to Lion's Arch, and I'm going to talk about that part, which is basically Adventure Guide 4, and, you know, when the story gets ahead and stuff like that, I'm going to talk about after I summarize all of the other races. Next up, we have the Charr, the one I would recommend the least, and honestly, I wish I could recommend them higher, because I like how they look. But man, their maps fucking suck, okay? Like, they have the most hearts to do, the maps are the biggest. Honestly, I feel like the devs designed the Charr area first, and then every other zone was a bit smaller. I think the humans is just the smallest zone by far. Anyways, without complaining, do Adventure Guide 1 in Plains of Ashford, okay? Move on later to the Essa Plateau, okay? From here, I believe. Okay, once you're in the Essa Plateau, you are going to, you know, do all of it. Do not do a world exploration here. You do not need to fully complete this map. Just do Adventure Guide 2 as much as you can. Okay, and then the world boss for you, unfortunately, there is no world boss here. So I would recommend, honestly, any other one you kind of just choose. I like Shadow Behemoth. It's, you know, it's not too far from the waypoint, but again, the Kaladin one is also not too bad, right? So it's like over, ooh, that's actually pretty damn far. Okay, this is where the Kaldon one would be, so that would be quite the run. Okay, from the Grove all the way up there. And then Metrica Province is also kind of like you're gonna go all the way from down here to this area where the fire elemental is. Okay, I would highly recommend just doing Shadow Behemoth. It is considerably the closest. Another one, again, you can also do the Svanir one, because you start here and the Svanir spawns somewhere around there. So again, pretty long path, but this is like a straight line, no mazes, no nothing like Metrica Province and Kaldon would have like mountains you have to traverse and stuff like that. This is just like pretty much like you just run in a straight line. So that would be your first world boss that I would recommend. Okay, so you know, do the things, check when the world bosses are up. Okay, and for your Adventure Guide 3, I would head over to Fields of Ruin. It is the smallest map out of all the Charr maps. Okay, and while going to Fields of Ruin, you will have to pass by Blaze Ridge steps, which is where your world boss would be, the Shatterer. Okay, and the Shatterer spawns all the way up here. So you pass from here. Okay, this is the Ashford, this is Blaze Ridge Steps. You go all the way down to here, and then you go and you explore Fields of Ruin, okay? And I'm pretty sure there's also a way gate to it, or a way to teleport to it, but either way, you know, just do this map, okay? It is also, no, it's one of the big maps. Again, like I said, Charr kind of sucks, okay? It is what it is, right? So where does it even start? Woo-wee! Where does it start? There we go, map completion. Yes, so there is a DS supporter here. Okay, so let's just show you where you can get to this map from. Okay, so I'm pretty sure it's Lion's Arch, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah. Oh, Divinity's Reach, actually. Wow. So, like, Divinity's Reach is, like, the best place. Man, humans are the best, okay? So, yeah. Anyways, that's the Charr, okay? Do Adventure Guide 3 in Fields of Ruin. The world boss is in Blaze Ridge Steps. And then it's Adventure Guide 4, which we're going to talk about later. Next up, we have the Norn. Norn probably would be my second favorite. I just like their maps the most. They're not, I would say they're pretty big, but they feel, I don't know, they just feel good to do. I'm biased, doesn't matter. I like human creatures, I guess. They're like races that look closer to humans, I guess. Anyways, so when you're doing the Norn, okay, so you just start Wayfarer. Foothill is your Adventure 1. Right, you're starting over here, so map completion starts here as well. So just go around, do as much map completion as you can, just the exploration part. Okay, do your Adventure Guide Part 1. Okay, then Adventure Guide Part 2 would be Snowden Drifts. Okay, so you're gonna go all the way from here, Dawnrise Pass. Okay, quite a long road to get there, because you have to do all of this. Like, you do like 75% of the map to get here, but it is what it is. Or you just, you know, if you feel like you're done with Adventure Guide 1, you need to go to Adventure Guide 2. Just skip everything, go to here. Okay, map completion starts from here. This is the map that I would fully explore. Okay, but again, similar to Cassex Hills, you're going to fully explore minus one thing. Like, minus, let's say, it finishes here. Don't do this vista, for example, or don't do whatever is here at the finish, which I'm assuming is a point of interest. Okay, but other than that, do Adventure Guide 2 here. Try to get full map exploration. Yes, it's 13 hearts. It is what it is. Okay, you need 10 for the Adventure Guide anyway, so you might as well. Okay, your world boss is, like I said in the Charr segment, is going to be over here. Okay, so here's the waypoint. It's over here, actually. I pointed to here in the Charr. It's over here, just using this waypoint. Okay, go kill the world boss. This is the Svanir Shaman. okay, your Adventure Guide 3 would actually be Lorner's Pass, okay? Don't need to fully map explore, just go into Lorner's Pass. I believe it's probably starts from here. Yeah, it starts from here. Just again, do explorations, do your Adventure Guide 3, okay? And your second world boss would probably be Blaze Ridge Steps. It doesn't really matter, it is your choice if you want to do him or if you want to do Modnir Ulgoth. Whichever one is actually like gonna spawn sooner, like the closest. The thing is, either way, you're gonna have quite a run ahead of you. This is 2 maps worth of running from Lion's Arch, so go to Lion's Arch and then run 2 maps up, kind of a pain. Or go to Black Citadel and run 2 maps to the east, right? So either way, it's gonna be a long run. Again, not ideal. Like I said, nothing beats humans. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Adventure Guide 3 in terms of Norn. Next up, we have the Sylvari. Sylvari starts at Caldon Forest. So, same thing, Adventure Guide 1. Just do the bare minimum to finish Adventure Guide 1 and move on to Brisbane Wildlands. Okay, so the exit is somewhere here, all the way. I think, yeah, it's this one. I believe that's the exit. Okay, and you're gonna go into the next zone. Yep, there it is. I don't hang around these parts, so, you know, like, I had to make sure, right? So this is where, you know, where you do your Adventure Guide Part 2. This one is the map that you don't need to do World Explore on. Okay, don't do a full explore here. Okay, just do the bare minimum for Adventure Guide 2. Adventure Guide 2. And the world boss for Adventure Guide 2 is actually going to be right over here in Witchmire Swamp. Okay, so you're going to Twilight Arbor, Waypoint, and the world boss would be right over here. It's going to be a big ass swarm. Okay, so that would be your Adventure Guide 2. For Adventure Guide 3, I would honestly recommend Harathi Hinterlands. Okay, you should already have Lion's Arch access. You're far away from everything anyways. Honestly, Harathi Hinterlands, in my opinion, is just easier to get to. But again, it's either Harathi Hinterlands or Blaze Ridge Shatterer. Whichever you prefer, it doesn't really matter for the achievement. I think Blaze Ridge kind of has better rewards, like the Shatterer, but honestly, like, it doesn't really matter. And whichever map you choose is the one you would fully explore. So in my opinion, exploring Harathi Hinterlands is substantially easier than exploring Blaze Ridge. So you might as well go to Harathi as your third map, because unfortunately for Sylvari and the rats, there is no third map in this region. So you actually have to go to the third maps for your adventure guide in one of the other 3 races, like in the Charr region, in the Norn region, or in the human region. In my opinion, the human region is just easier to handle, smaller maps, less objectives. So I would go to Harathi Hinterlands, and that's it for the Sylvari. And talking about the rats, what's their official name? Asura? Yeah, those guys, the rats. Right, so you're gonna start with Metrica Province. Okay, again, just doing very, very minimal. Okay, just do the Adventure Guide 1. Moving on to, Brisbane Wildlands, same as the Sylvari. Okay, again, you just do the bare minimum for your Adventure Guide 2. Your world boss is going to be the Fire Elemental. Okay, and again, you can do any one of the first world bosses. I'm just saying this is the closest one, and you would already probably have explored near that area. You would have the waypoint, so you might as well target this one. Okay, after Brisbane Wilds, again, Harathi Highlands, full explore, as I talked about in the Sylvari part. One thing I didn't talk about, which happens during Adventure Guide 2 or towards Adventure Guide 3, like at the beginning of it, you're gonna reach 30 at some point. Okay, pretty sure it's Adventure Guide 2, you're reaching level 30. When you're level 30 in your story, you would have 3 factions, if you want to call them that, to choose from. Okay, from 30 to 60, you're gonna be dealing with this faction. Okay, you have the Vigil, you have the Scholars of the Priory Scholars, and you have the Order of Whispers. Okay, it doesn't really matter which one you choose. Okay, the only thing that you should consider is kind of where you were going in your adventure guide. So, Order of Whispers, their main base is in Bloodtide Coast. You are never in Bloodtide Coast. I would kind of like not recommend doing them. But again, if you care about the story and they strike you as like interesting characters, go with them. It doesn't really matter. Okay, their main base is in Bloodtide Coast. The main base for the Vigil is in Gandaran Fields, so this is where you would be hanging out. Okay, and the main base for the Priory is in Timberline Falls. Sorry, no, in Lornar's Pass. Okay, Durman Priory. Okay, which is again, so all three of them are right around Lion's Arch, so they're not that far away. Choose whichever one you want. I personally always like taking the Vigil because less talking, more at pew pew, and we're good. Okay, with the other two, I find that there's always like kind of a lot of conversation happening where you like not you can't do anything, just stand there and listen to the NPCs. I like Vigil because it's just fucking let's go and blow shit up. Okay, so 30 to 60, you're gonna be dealing with them. I like Vigil, but and also the War Master in Vigil is kind of cool. The other thing that you might want to consider while choosing your faction is that each one of them offers armors. So if you think any one of these armors are cool, then go for them. In my opinion, Vigil has the worst fucking armors, and Whispers has probably one of the best for male light. All the heavy ones look like shit, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, and the medium and light for female also look pretty good. The Priory, the light for the male looks pretty good if you just ignore the helmet. And the light and medium for the, well, I'd say only the light for the Priory kind of looks good. Again, ignore the helmet. Okay. Medium looks kind of cool as well for Whispers. I think Whispers wins in terms of the appearance. Now there's also weapons. Okay, so these are the Whispers weapons. I think these are the second best. Priory weapons are the worst in my opinion. Very pixelated, very square. But thematically they're cool, but just I don't think they look great. Okay, and Vigil has probably the best weapons, in my opinion. I don't know, looks nice, you know, black and white. I mean, what's not to like? So that is the only other consideration you might want to take when choosing which faction. Again, I honestly think maybe you're gonna save, let's say if Vigil is the fastest one, it's only faster by like maybe 20-30 minutes during the questing, for all the questing in total. Not really a big deal. So choose with that in mind. Okay, now that with that everything out of the way, let's talk about Adventure Guide 4. Okay, Adventure Guide 4 is probably the one you will not even finish because you'll probably get to 80 in the middle of Adventure Guide 4. I would highly recommend just going to Sparkfly Fen, doing the exploration there, or Mount Maelstrom. The reason is you mostly only gonna deal with these two areas, a bit of Timberline Falls as well, but these are the two areas you're gonna deal with in the story leading towards 70. Okay, so once you're here, like this is where the end story ends, right? So you have some story in Sparkfly Fen, some of the stories in Mount Maelstrom, and then the story shifts to Straits of Devastation after that. Okay, so just go for Adventure Guide 4. The options are also like that is exactly what it's asking you for Adventure Guide 4. If we look at the events, it says Sparkfly Fen, Timberline Falls, or Mount Maelstrom, the Fireheart Rise, and Iron Marches. Again, this is like, do not touch them. Those areas are traps. Okay, but yeah, Sparkfly Fen, Mount Maelstrom, and Timberline Falls. Again, Timberline Falls is a bit out of the way, right? You will pass through there one time, but overall it's out of the way. Mount Maelstrom is just, you're gonna need it overall for your world boss farms later on. Same with Sparkfly Fan, in my opinion, probably the more important one, because Tequatl can drop ascended weapons. So if you have to target any area first, I would go with Sparkfly Fan. That's what I did. I found it extremely easy. The hearts were not too bad. Okay, so that pretty much summarizes it. Once you reach level 70, right, you're in the last story part, okay? At that point, just do the story. You probably reach like 73, 74. Finish off the Adventure Guide 4. You're gonna reach 80 before you finish it, probably. And then, you know, you're off to Ore and dealing with Zaitan, okay? So you're gonna, you know, swim over here, do these quests, yada yada, and you're done with 1 to 80 and the main story. If you care about the story, obviously listen to this in mask. I'm not telling you to skip anything. I just think it is just so smooth. Again, I can't even stress this enough, how smooth this journey was over 3 days, because I was doing it on stream, and that's how I could stream. It was like, I forgot that I'm leveling. Sometimes you would be like, by mistake, you finish like, well, not by mistake, but like coincides that you finish like 3 or 4 of the adventure guides together, and you're like, boom, I gained 2 levels. Okay. One more thing I forgot to mention, okay? Actually, I should mention this earlier, but one last thing I forgot to mention. If you go into adventure guide, I believe it's 3, and there's something about crafting. So crafting masterwork item. There's also like getting your crafting to a certain level. That might be actually in 2. You need to get like your crafting to level 10. Let me see. Yeah, crafting. So yeah, you earn crafting 10, and then adventure 4, you need to get crafting to 30, I believe. Using consumables, okay, and food consumables, also something you would want to do, which, by the way, we'll cover that in a second. Either way, eventually you need to get your crafting to 30. I just don't remember if it was crafting 3 or crafting 4, but overall, that's where you need to go. I would highly recommend taking Artificer, because you will be getting a lot of blue items and a lot of green items, and you are just gonna be so happy that you are getting the luck, and the luck is gonna take you a lot of space. But if you take Artificer, you have something to do with the luck at least, so you can, you know, keep moving the luck into the higher tier, right? So you can already like work on luck early on. Okay. However, the most important one by far, in my opinion, is cooking. Why cooking? Because you can get to 30 with no problem at all. Okay, here I am on my chef. So if you go to your merchant, or more importantly, let's start with the cooking station actually. So if you loaf of bread, you can get this. Just use this all the way to 30. Jug of water, bag of flour, and packet of yeast. You can buy them all from your chef. Okay, so jug of water, bag of flour, and yeast in bulk. Okay, and then you just use that to get to 30. The other reason why you want to go Artificer is because, as you saw on the Adventure Guide 2, you need to craft a masterwork item. Okay, if you combine 5 blue lucks into the green luck, which is basically from magic green luck to a masterwork green luck, you're good, right? That is the masterwork that you crafted. So in my opinion, these 2 are the best ones, and again, you can dump them right after. You don't have to keep them, but these would be the easiest and like least cost heavy, least costly ways to get those 3 objectives done, right? Crafting to 10, crafting to 30, and crafting a masterwork item. That is it for this video. One thing I did want to mention as well, and that is a bonus to doing the story and leveling from 1 to 80 and doing the adventure guide, is that you would usually likely get 3 black lion chest keys while doing this, which is pretty nice. But I believe you can only get 2 of them once a week. So level 10, finishing the story for level 10, will give you a Black Lion key. Only once a week. Do not do it more than once a week. You're gonna waste your... gonna waste the Black Lion key, basically, because you're not gonna get it. Okay? And then later on, you get one more at level 30. Okay? When you come into Lion's Arch the first time and you talk to whoever your representative is, and you just get another Lion key there. Okay? Again, once a week. Another Lion key you are likely to get is while doing Adventure Guide 3 and you have the full world explore, okay, like explore one map. You are likely to get a Black Lion's key when exploring your the first map you explore, okay? I'm not saying this is a 100% chance, but it is very likely you're gonna get a Black Lion key. So that's 3 Black Lion keys. Honestly, just starting a character, going to level 30 with it, doing the story for 10, for 30, and doing a 1 full map exploration for 3 keys. That is like, I don't know, 3 keys in like 3 or 4 hours. Honestly, you can probably get like really good at it. I think that is the most keys you can get in that short amount of time in the game, aside from like hoping for like maybe a Blood-Tide Coast map completion that has a chance to give you a Black Lion key. Anyways, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, and complaints, and you think I'm an idiot and just skip to 80, just buy the boost, or use your tombs. Honestly, I hate using the tombs because I like Spirit Shards a lot more. Yes, those are all valid, and honestly, if I were to make a brand new character, something that I actually wanted to talk about that I forgot. If I want to make a brand new character, I have 17 scrolls that boost me to level 20. One day I will use them. The way you get these is on your character's birthday. So, if you have one character, once a year you're gonna get a level 20 boost. Okay. However, also every year that goes on, you're gonna get a higher level boost. So you get a level 20. The next year, after 2 years, basically you get a level 30, then a level 40, up to 60. Okay. You're gonna get scrolls. I believe it's up to 60. Okay. So having a lot of characters is also nice because you're gonna be able to just, you know, boost characters and do the quick story. Get Black Lion keys and then delete the character. Okay, that's just extra. Okay, I didn't want to talk about boost strategies, but yes, that is also a possibility. Anyways, that's it from me. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye. 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 Peace. Why did I finish it with peace? I don't know. That's just something I do.